I think most of us at some point have thought about finding a soulmate, that really deep connection. It's a strong feeling for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. That pull towards a really resonant relationship. It seems pretty fundamental, doesn't it?
Yeah. But, instead of just like focusing on the search, we wanted to dig into what actually sets the stage for that kind of connection to even happen.
Right.
Think of it as understanding the soil, maybe, before you plant the seed. We know a lot of you listening are probably, navigating relationships, so hopefully this gives a bit of a fresh angle.
Precisely. It's less about just looking for someone and more about understanding what's going on inside us and, well, how we approach things that might, help or hinder that deeper stuff.
Okay, so let's get into it. One of the really fascinating ideas is that this kind of deep soulmate thing often shows up when you're not actively chasing it,
Yeah.
especially not from a place of like feeling you're missing something. It feels a bit backwards almost.
It really does seem that way, right? Because we're always hearing, get out there, be proactive.
Totally.
But this view suggests that when the main driver is trying to fill some internal gap, well, that energy itself can kind of get in the way, like you're broadcasting neediness.
Right, right. So the focus flips, doesn't it? It moves away from constantly scanning the horizon
Mm-hmm.
to actually just, you know, being fully involved in your life, your
Mhm.
interests, your own development.
Yeah.
It's not about hiding away, but just being present where you are.
Exactly. You're redirecting that energy. When you're genuinely invested in your own growth, your own well-being, you just, you give off a different vibe, a sort of wholeness. Think
Ah,
about when you're totally lost in something you love doing. There's a kind of spark there, isn't there?
definitely. And here's where it gets really interesting for me. This idea of being present connects directly to your internal state. Like
Mhm.
having a certain inner readiness is, well, key.
Yes. And what's really striking is this concept of ordered energy, as one source put it. Picture it like a calm inner space.
A state where your heart's open, yeah, but it's not dragged down by old fears or, past relationship baggage that hasn't been dealt with. It suggests a kind of inner peace.
Hmm. So if you've had those tough relationships, the ones that felt, I don't know, overwhelming,
Yeah.
then this idea of doing your own inner homework first, that sounds really hopeful, like tilling the soil before you plant something valuable.
That's a great analogy. It's really about taking responsibility for your own emotional landscape. When you've faced your own stuff, your insecurities, your wounds, you're just less likely to unconsciously repeat those old painful patterns.
Okay, so when this does happen, when this deep connection forms, it sounds like the actual experience feels really different
Hmm.
compared to maybe more typical relationship ups and downs.
Oh, absolutely. What jumps out is what's missing.
Right.
There's just no room for like manipulative games or constant power plays. That feeling you sometimes get where you have to keep proving yourself,
Yeah.
that's gone. You don't get people disappearing or using silence to, punish or control. Okay, so none of that emotional whiplash
Yeah.
or constant drama. It sounds like the polar opposite, really.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of friction and like second guessing, there's just a natural ease, a flow. You don't need to constantly decode things.
It's exactly. It's a connection where you're not trying to squeeze validation out of the other person because there's this fundamental stability and trust already there. And, seeing that contrast can be a real aha moment for people.
Yeah, I can see that. And this seems to tie into that like attracts like idea, but maybe on a deeper level than just, like in the same movies.
Exactly. It's less superficial. It points towards two people who've both done significant inner work, finding each other when they're both ready.
Ready for what though?
Ready for that kind of unconditional connection. It suggests the ability to love like that things actually comes from doing that preparation inside yourself first.
Okay.
So you meet someone who's kind of operating on a similar emotional frequency, where you can understand things even without spelling everything out.
Wow. That's a big thought. Understanding each other so deeply, sometimes without words, and seeing things similarly, even from different angles, that suggests a really profound alignment.
It does. It implies a kind of shared core, a natural resonance in how you see the world, how you approach things.
But does this mean you sort of melt into one person? It sounds like it's more about building something together while staying individuals.
That's absolutely critical. It's not painted as like a constant grind of compromises where someone always feels like they're losing out.
Right, which can build resentment.
Exactly. Instead, it's framed as a shared path, a journey built on presence, mutual respect, genuine caring, honesty, and importantly, responsibility towards the connection itself.
So a partnership. Both people are actively contributing to the relationship's health, but not, like, sacrificing who they fundamentally are.
Precisely. Your own unique qualities aren't just tolerated, they're actually valued within the relationship. They add to it.
Now, the actual feeling of love in this kind of connection,
Yeah.
it sounds different from that initial maybe head over heels infatuation.
Yes, definitely distinguished from that sometimes intense, but maybe not so stable buzz of early romance.
Right.
This love is described as much more grounded,
Yeah.
real, stable. The kind of thing you can actually rely on, build on, a dependable source of strength.
And it doesn't just stay between the two people, does it?
Yeah.
It sounds like it ripples outwards, changes your inner life, maybe even affects your surroundings positively, gives things new meaning. That sounds huge.
It is fascinating, isn't it? The idea that this stable core of love can actually spark positive changes that go beyond just the couple.
Yeah.
It might unlock potential or bring a deeper sense of purpose elsewhere in life.
But let's be real, too. Even
Yeah.
if you have this amazing, deep connection, life's still life, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to be sunshine and roses every single day.
No, absolutely not. And the sources we looked at are clear on this. Even in these profound bonds, you still need ongoing awareness. Effort is still required. Life throws curveballs. And keeping that connection strong means, continuing to look at yourself, facing fears when they come up maybe together, and staying true to those shared values.
And that point about giving each other space
Yeah.
without freaking out or feeling insecure, that sounds absolutely crucial for keeping things healthy.
It speaks volumes about the level of trust, doesn't it? That
Yeah.
deep security that's underpinning everything. It's knowing that, individual time or pursuits and the strong connection can actually exist together. They can even make each other stronger.
So when you boil it down, love in this sense isn't just a feeling you fall into. It's more like an active choice you make every day, almost like a spiritual practice of learning how to love better, deeper, wiser.
That's a really insightful way to put it. It shifts love from being like a finish line you cross to being this continuous journey. You're always growing together, always deepening that understanding.
And lastly, this really powerful idea. The soulmate isn't your rescuer. They're not there to fix you or complete you. It's more like they hold up a mirror, remind you of the strength and potential that's already inside you.
That is such an empowering shift, isn't it? It
Yeah.
completely changes the dynamic. It's not about dependence. It's about mutual support.
Yeah.
Seeing the inherent worth in each other, seeing the capability. The soulmate shows you your own power.
Yeah. So wrapping this up, it seems this deep dive really points to true connection blossoming when you're grounded in your own life first.
Present.
Present, yeah.
Yeah.
When you've done that inner work, the healing, the growing,
Mhm.
and crucially, when you're not looking for someone else to be the solution to your own incompleteness.
Exactly. It's about cultivating that inner wholeness first.
Mm.
And that creates the fertile ground, you could say, for a truly resonant, really profound connection to walk into your life.
Wow. It definitely gives you a lot to chew on.
Yeah.
What does it really mean for you personally to be present and ready? And maybe, just maybe, the most direct route to finding that connection is actually focusing on your own path,
Yeah.
your own growth. Thanks for exploring this with us.